Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what I feel. Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what.
What's up, everybody? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and the time has finally come for me to review Evil Dead the game. Now, my review is going to be a little bit more different than what I have seen all these other reviews who, I don't know how they have gone through everything yet. Most of the videos and reviews I have seen on this game unfortunately seem rushed, and they fully don't even explain or understand the intricacies of this game. Now, yes, you might say, oh, it's another asymmetrical 5-player 1 versus a team or 4 versus 1. Yes, and there are games like that that do it very well. Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, Predator Hunting Grounds, the upcoming Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. There are a multitude of games that do this type of style, but with Evil Dead, it does it very differently. You have being able to play as the survivor, which we all know you can do. You can actually play as the Kandarian demon and the Deadites themselves. You can do a PvE type mode, which can basically prepare you for playing against another player, playing as a survivor against an AI controlled demon, which does have a good amount of difficulty and challenge, and you could play solo. All these modes, at least you could say there's 2 modes for PvP and PvE, and you could play privately with friends. So the good thing is this game is very fun to play with or without friends, and it doesn't have a lot of the restrictions that these other asymmetrical games seem to have. And what do I mean by that is something we will discuss a little later in the video, because there's a couple things I do want to mention first, or get through first. Now, leveling up is one thing a lot of people seem to misinterpret, and the story missions, which you could say, yeah, these aren't really story missions. These are missions to help you level up other characters in the game, because there are 12 survivors in total, and you do find Easter eggs and references such as the Nobi tapes, which are good to collect, and they give you good refreshers and details about what has happened in the films. The thing about this game, it's an amalgamation of the trilogy and the TV show, which is a good thing. That's a lot of content to work with, and we haven't had an Evil Dead game since Evil Dead Regeneration, because the last few Evil Dead games, Hail to the King, Fistful of Boomstick, and Regeneration, all came out in the early 2000s, which I do wish those games could just get remastered together as a trilogy, because they were single-player based games. So this is the first for Evil Dead entering the multiplayer genre. With some kinks, It doesn't successfully transfer a lot of things, but the different classes, leveling up different classes, and being the demons. Right now there's only 3 playable demons, but you do have a plethora of abilities to go through with them. And leveling up is one thing a lot of people seem to misinterpret. They solely focus on your main level in the top right, which is wrong. You have to focus on the level of the character you're playing as, and you unlock these things called soul points, which are like in-game currency that helps you level up even faster. And that's something that I notice a lot of reviews seem to either not acknowledge or don't even dive into accurately. Now, I've managed to play as all the other characters, even though they might be at level 1, 2, and 3, and of course Army of Darkness Ash is my preferred character of choice, and my preferred demon of choice is playing as Elagos, the Puppeteer class. But every class has a skill tree, and this is a pretty solid skill tree that you can either upgrade once or upgrade a multitude of times. So when you level up and play as a character, the better they become. Don't get me wrong, it's not very difficult to play as a character. Once you find a character that suits you, every character does something different and has a different wide array of costumes. Like I said, Army of Darkness Ash is my favorite since he's got 3 outfits and some of the best abilities in the game. But when you level up everyone else, they all become very effective. Some people have defensive maneuvers, some people have offensive maneuvers, some people have a blend of the two. Characters are better at some things that other player characters are not. But that is where teamwork comes into play. And the one thing about this Evil Dead game it does one thing that these asymmetrical games do not do, or what I say restrict you on. You can actually break off from playing with your team, and you'll survive very well. The game's levels are very massive, and they're an amalgamation of each location that we have seen from the films and that we have seen from the TV shows, all fused into one location. The detail in the cabin is there, and mind you, if you look at this with AAA eyes, you're failing yourself with reviewing this game. This is a AA game, make no mistake, priced at $40. And the one thing that it does suffer from, that I will not deny, is of course optimization. But that's probably due to the crossplay, because when you turn the crossplay on, you will see the game's problems, and that's only when you turn crossplay. But if you turn crossplay off and you're playing with people strictly from your platform, you won't have a problem as much, or you really won't see a lot of the issues. Now, the single player missions are there just to help you unlock other characters and prepare you for what's to come. And they give you objectives that are based either around Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, and some of Ash vs. Evil Dead. The developers plan to add Army of Darkness later and a new map of Army of Darkness. So the one thing this game does is when you load into a map, all the locations get switched around. They might be the name of the same places, but their locations on the map are switched, and items are always switched. So it always keeps you guessing of where you're going to go and what you need to do and worry about. You have to contend with deadites popping up everywhere. You also have to contend with the evil spirit that roams around, whether it be played by a player or it's played by a highly advanced bot. Because the deadites do start off very easy, but the more you go on with the level, and the more you go on, especially in PvP, they will get tougher. They will get harder. It will be hard to distinguish what's an AI deadite and what's deadite is being controlled by the enemy player. Because the enemy player playing as the Kandarian demon will be able to access so many different abilities, and a lot of people are saying the survivors are overpowered. That is a false nomer, because no, I have been dominated by the freaking Kandarian demon character, but played by a player or played by the AI, and these players play very well together. Or you can, like I said, play by yourself online without having to worry about teammates. Teammates can break off and do their own thing, and you can break off and do your own thing. Now the combat, a lot of people say the combat is janky. I haven't had a problem with the combat. I can hit my targets pretty effectively, dodge very well, and hit my target when I want to hit them. It's only when they jump around that you'll miss and swing, and the deadites actually will dodge your attacks. So if you're trying to say combat is janky because you can't hit the enemy, I always see them using a clip where the deadite is dodging. That's basically a disingenuous claim right there. And these single player missions, it should have been condensed into a single player campaign, but I see why. They didn't have the budget to put a single player game. Remember, it's either damn if you do or damned if you don't with these games are made. A lot of people said, why didn't Friday the 13th have a campaign? Remember, if you look at this with AAA eyes, you're going to fail yourself and you're going to fail the review. That's just basically what it is. Now, when you play online with other people or you're playing in the world itself, that's when character abilities and character classes really come into effect. You'll go around grabbing whatever items and weapons you need, and in-game level ups. You just don't go straight to the objectives, because that's a lot of problems that people seem to think that the game ends too fast or you don't get enough time, things like that. It's because online players today all play with a Rambo mentality, and that's where you fail. Playing like that, just going straight to the objective and not exploring the level to explore leveling yourself up with these things called F bottles or F potions, allow you to do an in-game level up during the match, so you can strengthen your shield output, your health output, stamina output, attack output, and reduce your fear level, because you also have to contend with something called a fear level. Now the fear level will make the deadites come at you even stronger and harder, because they will know who to pin out and know who to go for. That is where these things called torches come in. You can light torches in the world to reduce your fear or use your flashlight. One version of Ash, the Army of Darkness Ash, his ability is to basically reduce his fear and restore his health with basically the wise man's potion from the film. versus playing as Evil Dead 2 Ash, where you could quite literally, if your friend gets possessed, because that can happen to you, an enemy player or the AI demon could possess you and you could start attacking your teammates. You can exorcise the demon, of course, by beating the shit out of the player, not killing them, but you beat it out of them. Or if you use Evil Dead 2 Ash, for example, you basically give the demon the middle finger and he gets exorcised, which is a freaking hilarious way of getting rid of him. And what you do in the map is fairly simple. You collect the pages of the Necronomicon, which are a reference to Evil Dead 2, how they had to get the pages from the cellar. Then you go and get the Kandarian demon with the dagger. Then you battle the Dark Ones, and then if you get that far, the Deadites will start to try to destroy the Necronomicon before you can send them back. So it's a lot of searching, fighting, hunting, and basically position holding, where you have to hold down the position. But playing as the Kandarian demon, you fly around the map at full speed and can possess anything that could be used as a weapon, or take full control of the Deadite or an enemy leader. Which right now, there are only 3 enemy Deadite leaders in the game: Evil Ash from Army of Darkness, Henrietta from Evil Dead 2, and Elagos from the show. But for now, those 3 are very powerful and can be very effective if you know how to use them. See, using the Kandarian demon, it requires a lot of skill. You really need to practice playing them, but once you do, you could control the map, or if you play against a competent team, it can go either way. The executions are amazing. Each of the weapons have a different variation of attack and a different variation of execution depending who you're playing as. My personal favorite, I use the melee weapons more than I do the guns, but weapons in the game are found through these chests or lying around, and you can see their different levels, their different strengths, what they can and cannot do. And that really helps you determine what you're going to use and what you're not going to use in the game. So, with all that being said, the only issues you will face in this game is poor optimization and unreliable teammates at best. You know, it's more so to play with your friends, if anything. And that's how these games are. What ruins these kind of games are the kind of players you deal with online. But, with all that being said, despite, yes, there are some shortcomings, the developers do plan to give free DLC, free expansion updates with maps and characters coming later down the line. So that's always appreciated. But for right now, I can't give it no higher than just a solid 7. It's a solid 7 game, and I hope, as an Evil Dead fan, that it does it justice. This is Emperor John, Kill 3D Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, and I'll catch you all next time.